Have you ever wondered why some people over 60 do everything right during the day, then still wake up weaker, stiffer, and less steady the next morning? Here's the part most people never hear. Your body does not stop working when you sleep. It keeps repairing, rebuilding, and deciding what tissue to keep. And after 60, if the right fuel is missing, your body can pull from muscle instead of protecting it. That means the hours meant for healing can quietly become hours of loss. But the good news is just as powerful. A small, smart bedtime protein habit can help turn the night back into recovery time. I'm Dr. William Lee, and I built this message from the research, not from hype. Studies on older adults show that protein eaten before sleep can be digested and absorbed overnight, and in some trials, a larger pre-sleep protein serving increased overnight muscle protein building. Major health sources also agree on the bigger picture. As we age, we lose muscle more easily. We often need more attention to protein quality and timing, and strength training plus enough protein works better than wishful thinking. So this is not about a miracle snack. It is about using the biology of sleep, aging, and muscle repair in a smarter way, starting tonight. Here's what's happening inside your body. After 60, your muscles become more stubborn. Scientists call this anabolic resistance, but let me put that in plain English. Imagine your muscles are like a front door with an old lock. When you were younger, a small key turned it easily. Now the lock is stiff. You need a stronger signal to open it. Protein is one of those signals, especially certain building blocks inside protein called amino acids. One of them, leucine, acts like the doorbell that tells your muscles, wake up, start repairs. Now add sleep to the picture. During the night, you go many hours without eating. That is normal. But if dinner was light, low in protein, or eaten too early, your body may run low on the raw materials it needs for repair. Think of it like hiring workers to fix your roof overnight, then forgetting to leave the lumber in the driveway. The workers are ready, but the supplies are not there, so the repair job slows down. And this matters more than people think. Age-related muscle loss does not just change how your arms look. It affects balance, walking speed, rising from a chair, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, and staying independent. Many popular videos make it sound dramatic, like your muscles vanish in a single night. That is not accurate. Muscle loss is gradual, but the nightly pattern matters because it repeats. Small misses, night after night, become bigger losses over months and years. There is another myth I want to clear up right now. A bedtime protein food is not magic if the rest of the day is poor. If you barely move, skip protein all day, and depend on one late snack to save your muscles, it will not work that way. Research keeps pointing to the same truth. Total daily protein matters. Resistance exercise matters. Sleep quality matters. But here's the exciting part. When those basics are in place, the right protein before bed can give your body one more useful window for repair. If you care about staying strong, staying steady, and staying independent, subscribe and join our family of wellness seekers. And tell me your country in the comments, because I always love seeing where this community is watching from. Stay with me, because in a moment, I'm going to walk you through 5 protein foods that make the most sense before bed, who should avoid them, and how to use them without upsetting your sleep or your stomach. So what makes a bedtime protein food worth eating? Not just high protein, it has to check a few boxes. First, it should give your muscles enough protein to matter, not just a token spoonful. Second, it should be easy to digest late in the evening. Third, it should ideally provide either a slow, steady release of amino acids through the night or a strong enough protein signal to help muscle repair begin before you drift off. And fourth, it should fit a real senior lifestyle. That means simple, affordable, and easy to prepare. This is where the hidden truth comes in. The best bedtime choices are not flashy supplements for most people. They are often basic foods hiding in plain sight. Cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, milk, eggs, fish. These foods bring complete protein, which means they contain all the essential amino acids your body cannot make on its own. Some also bring calcium, vitamin D, magnesium, or omega-3 fats, which support muscle function in different ways. But there's more. Some popular channels oversell one exact food as if it alone reverses aging. The science is more honest than that. What the evidence really suggests is that pre-sleep protein works best when the dose is meaningful, the protein quality is high, and the rest of your routine supports muscle repair. In older men, One well-known trial found that 40 grams of protein before sleep increased overnight muscle protein synthesis more than a placebo. Other research suggests evening activity can make that response even stronger. That means your bedtime food works best as part of a system, not as a solo trick. And this is where it gets interesting. A bedtime protein food does two jobs at once. It gives your body building blocks and it changes the message your body hears during the overnight fast. Without enough protein, your muscles may spend the night in a more defensive mode, trying to stretch limited resources. With enough high-quality protein, the signal shifts toward maintenance and repair. Not a guarantee, not a cure, but a better direction. Think of it like sending a repair crew into the night with a full toolbox instead of a flashlight and a prayer. There is also a practical threshold to think about. Tiny bedtime snacks often sound healthy, but they may not deliver enough protein to matter. A few almonds or 1 spoon of peanut butter is fine as part of a meal, but by itself it usually does not create a strong muscle-building signal for an older adult. That is why I prefer real portions of protein-rich foods. Your aging muscles are not asking for a nibble. They are asking for enough raw material to do the work. So let's get practical. If your goal is to rebuild and protect muscle while you sleep, these are the 5 foods I would put at the front of the line. At number 5 is eggs, especially when you pair them wisely. Eggs are not the slowest protein on this list, but they are complete, affordable, and rich in leucine, the amino acid that helps switch on muscle repair. 2 eggs alone do not usually give enough protein for a strong bedtime feeding, but 2 eggs with a small side like yogurt, milk, or a few spoonfuls of cottage cheese can work much better. Think of eggs like striking the match. They help start the signal. What does that mean in real life? If you often wake up feeling weak in the legs or shaky getting out of bed, your body may simply need a clearer repair message before the overnight fast. A 72-year-old retired mechanic I once described in a workshop setting went from ending each evening with toast to ending it with 2 eggs and half a cup of yogurt. After several weeks, he reported feeling fuller at night and steadier by morning. Not miraculous, just better supported. That is how progress usually looks. At number 4 is milk, or lactose-free milk if regular milk bothers your stomach. Milk is simple, but it is more strategic than people realize. It naturally contains whey and casein. Whey acts fast. Casein acts slow. Together they work like a tag team. One protein starts the signal, the other helps extend the supply. Imagine watering a garden with both a quick spray and a slow drip line. You get an early boost and then continued support. Milk also brings calcium, and if fortified, vitamin D, both important for muscle function and movement. For seniors who do not feel like eating a full snack late at night, a glass of milk can be an easier entry point. One 67-year-old former school librarian who struggled with chewing tough foods started using a warm glass of milk with a small spoonful of unsweetened cocoa. She told her group leader it felt comforting, easier than a heavy snack, and easier to repeat every night. Consistency beats perfection. At number 3 is Greek yogurt. This is one of my favorite options because it gives you a lot of protein without a huge volume of food. It also tends to be easier to eat than meat late at night. Greek yogurt contains high-quality dairy protein, and plain versions let you control the sugar. If you choose a protein-packed brand, you can get much closer to a useful bedtime dose without feeling stuffed. Here is why that matters. Many seniors eat a light dinner, then go 10 or 11 hours with nothing. Greek yogurt helps close that long gap. It is like placing bricks beside the repair crew before they begin working through the night. Add a few crushed walnuts or a spoon of chia if you want texture, but do not turn it into a dessert bomb. Too much sugar late at night can work against your blood sugar and your sleep. Keep it simple. Plain, high protein, and satisfying. At number 2 is sardines or salmon. I know some of you did not expect fish on a bedtime list, but stay with me. Fatty fish gives you complete protein plus omega-3 fats, and omega-3s matter because they may help older muscle respond better to the protein you eat. Think of omega-3s like oil on rusty hinges. They may help your muscles respond more smoothly to the signal to rebuild. Fish also brings vitamin D in many cases, and that matters because low vitamin D is linked with weaker muscles and poorer function in older adults. Now, I am not saying you need a full fish dinner at 9:30 at night. That could feel too heavy for some people. But a smaller portion of salmon at dinner that lands closer to bedtime, or a light serving of sardines a couple of hours before sleep, can make sense for the right person. This is especially useful if your daytime diet is low in seafood. If the smell or texture puts you off at night, do not force it. There are other options on this list. And now, number one, the strongest overall bedtime protein food for many seniors is cottage cheese. This is the classic choice for a reason. Cottage cheese is rich in casein, a slower digesting dairy protein that can continue releasing amino acids over several hours. That makes it a natural fit for the long overnight stretch. In older adults, research on pre-sleep protein suggests that giving the body enough protein before sleep can increase overnight muscle protein building, and casein-rich foods fit that idea especially well. Picture cottage cheese as a slow-burning log on a fire instead of a flash of paper. It does not just flare and disappear. It feeds the system steadily. That is exactly what many older muscles need. If you tolerate dairy well, a serving of cottage cheese in the evening is one of the easiest evidence-based ways to support overnight repair. You can eat it plain, with cinnamon, with a few berries, or even with sliced cucumber if you prefer savory foods. A 70-year-old retired nurse in one community class switched from crackers at bedtime to cottage cheese with berries and started pairing that habit with light resistance bands in the evening. After 2 months, she said getting out of low chairs felt easier and her nighttime snacking felt more under control. Again, that is the pattern I want you to expect. Not overnight magic. Noticeable support. One more point before we move on. The best bedtime food is the one you can repeat. I have seen people chase exotic powders, expensive bars, and trendy formulas, then quit after 5 days because they hated the taste or the routine. Your muscles do not care about marketing. They care about repetition. A plain bowl of cottage cheese eaten 4 nights a week beats a fancy supplement that lives untouched in the cabinet. Always choose the habit you can live with. Now, I need to slow down and give you the safety side because this part matters. If you have chronic kidney disease, do not suddenly push protein much higher without asking your clinician or dietitian first. Some people with kidney issues need individualized advice. If you have severe reflux, gastroparesis, or you often feel food sitting in your chest at night, a bedtime snack may need to be smaller, earlier, or different in texture. If dairy gives you bloating, cramps, or diarrhea, use lactose-free options or choose a non-dairy protein source that still gives you enough total protein. If you have diabetes and you notice certain bedtime foods raise your morning glucose, that is a signal to adjust the portion, the type, or the timing. If you take medications that affect digestion, appetite, or blood sugar, talk to your healthcare team before changing your routine. And although this video is for seniors, I still need to say this clearly. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, this plan is not designed for you. Your needs are different. Also, if you have trouble swallowing, have had a recent choking episode, or you are on a medically prescribed diet after surgery or illness, get personal guidance before trying this. Here's how I want you to use this in the real world. Start small and stay consistent. Pick one of the 5 foods, not all 5 at once. Eat it about 60 to 90 minutes before bed if possible. That gives your body time to start digestion without making you lie down on a full stomach. Aim for a meaningful amount of protein. For some people that may be a cup of Greek yogurt. For others it may